Hey everyone, Sam here. I'm a long-time member of Protrader, been a member since about 2004, I think. Protrader have asked me to just do a little video on my 5 perfect trades for new traders, and this is an edited snippet from episode 84 of Breakout Wednesday. Now, all the 5 setups here I talked about before they broke out on various Breakout Wednesday episodes. So just go back to the respective episodes, and there's no hindsight trading here. They were all talked about before they broke out. I hope this is of benefit to some. Cheers. There's so many new traders at the moment, so many new members to Protrader. I'm going to quickly rattle through 5 previous trades that I've talked about here on Breakout Wednesday, and I'm just choosing 5 pretty much perfect ones. So all the new traders out there, people always ask if there's one strategy, what would it be? And it's pretty bloody easy to answer that question. It would simply be ascending triangles sitting up at all-time highs. Not only ascending triangles, flat bases, big flat bases sit in all-time highs. I kind of view them as the same thing. They're really just volatility contraction patterns, different sorts of them. The fact is they're just huge bases where the volume dries up, the price dries up, and it literally just goes sideways. And the lows of that pattern just slowly get higher, okay? That can happen within a flat base like this one. This is literally just a flat base from here across, and then you have this low, and then this low getting a little bit higher, okay? So it's the same psychology behind this pattern as it is behind a classical ascending triangle, right? And then you have a breakout and you storm up. So LRK is the stock in the ASX I've been talking about a lot lately. It reached its profit target this week. The profit target for me is literally just taking the depth of this pattern. So for those new traders, it's say this level here at 1.575 and then the lows here at 1.39. You just take that depth and you just add it to the top here and boom, there's your pattern. It's so reliable, especially when you have the major trend in your favor and you have huge volume on the breakout and little bits of volume, tiny volume. What I meant to say was volume drying up before the breakout. It's pretty classical stuff, and so LRK, a good trade there. Now another one, huge flat base in all-time highs. I've been talking about this guy for I don't know how long, months now, UWL. Now UWL is a much bigger base than LRK, much looser, wilder base, and much harder to trade because it's so big and it's so wild, and it's not as tight, right? But it had at the end of the day, it's a massive base that broke out into new highs, and it formed a bunch of tighter patterns within it. And so this sort of trade is also just an A plus setup, okay? A huge base at all-time highs. There's good fundamentals behind this company too. I do look at all that stuff, and this is just this company is just off the races this week. I'm still sitting in there with my lot. I haven't trimmed any of that. I want to ride that up towards the $3 level. Okay, now. The next one, just moving on to a trade from last year, just for new traders, because this is just a great example. So AMD, another example of a huge flat base. AMD, so this chart listed on the NASDAQ, stock listed on the NASDAQ, huge base, okay? They're so similar to the last 2 charts I showed. This one's better than UWL because it's just such a clear resistance line, and it really tightens here on the right-hand side. So we have one low here that I'm just circling, another low here, and just contraction right here where my mouse is, okay? And then the volume drops off and it breaks out of all-time highs and just absolutely explodes. And so this is pretty much the most perfect chart I've ever seen. And I just look for things like that. They don't come around every week, and so it's you definitely have time to do other things in your life. I'm not a fan these days of sitting for 10 hours watching a screen. There's way more fun things to do as far as I'm concerned than that. All right. Now one more example. This is another one I talked about on Breakout Wednesday. Woodside. Okay, it's a much smaller short-term ascending triangle, this one, but it is so clear. Went up, hit this resistance line, formed a low, hit it again, formed another low, and it just contracted. All the lows are getting higher, and in here that the highs are staying flat. Okay, and then we had a clear breakout, and it stormed up and hit its profit target. Last one, and this wasn't as perfect, but DDR, this is actually was a perfect setup, sorry. 3 highs all testing the same point pretty much, and then the lows here, the low here, the low here, just contracting up, and contraction here on low volume, and then an explosion, okay? This guy chopped around a bit, but the founder of Protrader, Frank Watkins, told me nearly 20 years ago, just buy the ascending triangle breakouts, put your stop loss in, and just wait for the profit targets to get hit. It really is that simple. You don't need to watch the chart all day long. And I actually think I do better when I just don't even look at live prices at all. Okay, the only reason to really stare at the live screen is if you're a day trader. All right, there are 5 past trades for new traders. Hope that helped. Moving on to some trades from last week.